Welcome back to another episode of Small Business Talk on Business 1110 AM KTEK, where we discuss the topics that inspire entrepreneurs from thought to action. I'm your host, John Cruz, and as always, we welcome your questions and your comments. We'd love for you to give us a phone call if you'd like to ask a question to our guest that we have in the studio today, or if you'd just like to make a statement or a comment and talk about your own situation as it relates to being an entrepreneur. The telephone number here in the studio today is 888-202-1349, or as always, you can send me an email if you're too shy to talk on the radio, and my email address is johncruz@sbtradio.com. Be sure to visit our website, which is www.sbtradio.com, and on that site we have upcoming show topics. We list networking events. We also have archived interviews, so if you ever miss any portion of an interview that's relevant to you or your business, you can always go to the website and pull it up and have a listen at it. On the site, you'll also see that we talk about business tips. There's some links on there that are called Ask a CEO, and that's one of my favorites, where you can go in and you can type in a question to a CEO, and the producers of this show will contact that CEO that we had on the show and get an answer for you, and hopefully that'll help you along in what you're doing. I hope that you guys are having a safe holiday, and it is definitely hot out there, and I think that the burn ban is still in effect, so we want to be careful if anyone has any contraband fireworks that they have in mind for using this evening. So be very, very careful with that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get to our guest for today. We have a young lady in the studio who is an entrepreneur, and we're going to talk about her story. We're going to talk about her product and how it relates to possibly what you're doing, and hopefully you'll find some inspiration in her story that will help you get to the next level in your own business. Our guest today, her name is Shan Greggs, and the company that she owns is called Simply Scents Candle Company. And Shan's professional corporate career literally took her all over the globe. She was a flight attendant with United Airlines. So after September 11th, the industry was transformed greatly, wouldn't you say, Shan?
Right, definitely.
Okay, and so, nonetheless, after September 11th, she decided that that would be the right time to go ahead and start her own company. Since then, Shan has worked to grow her company and boasts a celebrity clientele of persons like Deborah Duncan, Beyonce Knowles, Tina Knowles, which is Beyonce's mother, and Simply Scents can also be found in an exclusive number of Walgreens stores throughout Houston. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to say welcome to the show, Shan.
Thank you for having me.
Now let's talk about your professional corporate career for a moment. You were working as a flight attendant.
Right.
Now how long were you in the flying business, so to speak?
Well, I was a flight attendant for 2 years, but I was also in the Air Force for 8 years prior to that. So
okay. Now what did you do in the Air Force?
I worked with F-16s and B-1 bombers. I was a non-destructive technician.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I inspected aircraft.
Okay.
I also worked at NASA too.
Really?
T-38 and B-1 bombers.
Now how did you get from that to being an entrepreneur in the candle business?
Oh, it didn't go as smoothly as you mentioned earlier. I was like, ooh, he makes the transition sound smooth. Well, shortly after being in the Air Force, I did a number of other things. I worked at the post office. Then I became a flight attendant, and I really loved that job. I thought that would be the last thing that I would do. I love flying. I love the traveling. I love the benefits.
You like the company?
I'm sorry?
You like the company?
Oh, I
that
love
you
the
work for?
United Airlines. Yeah, I was based in Chicago. But 9/11 came, and that changed the whole thing of flying, and people were afraid to travel, so that led to me being laid off several times.
Really?
Correct. Yeah, really.
Wow.
At least 2, because I was so junior. I had only been flying 2 years, so
okay.
of course I was the first to go every time.
First hired,
right.
First fired.
Right.
Or last hired, first fired.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So now you had an aha moment. All right, you're being laid off. You're struggling to continue finding work, in an industry that you love. And at what point did you say that, okay, you know what, I'm going to go after this business. I'm going to jump in with both feet. What happened?
Well, I was in my hotel room on a computer watching Martha Stewart, who I love. I have to listen to her. So I was watching her show, and she had a show on candle making for the holidays, giving gifts away. So my thing was like, okay, that'd be a great gift for me to give for the holidays. Something I can make. People love candles. I always love candles, so I'm going to just try it. I've always sold everything anyway,
Okay.
I used to do hair out of my trunk. I used to sell purses out of my trunk.
Okay.
So it was just a matter when I came with the candles, people like, Shan, what you selling now?
Gotcha.
So
you always had that entrepreneurial spirit. Okay.
Right. Even when I didn't recognize it.
All right.
So I got into, the candle making idea, and I thought, that would be a good idea. That was the aha moment.
Okay.
So I instantly went on the computer, researched candle making and this and this, and it just took me like, candles. I saw such a big future in it. Like, they run out, the consumer has to come by and buy more, and if it's good, they'll continue to buy it.
Surely.
So that was the whole idea. So I said, I'm just going to give it a try. So they laid me off full time. So I got a chance to do it full time.
Okay.
So what I did was took my last paycheck, went and bought all candle supplies, made those candles, gave some to my mom at the post office. Everybody, myself at the post office. Yeah. So I was like, surely she can sell them at the post office. I just want to do it this one time for Christmas and be done.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened. Within a week, I had sold all those candles.
Okay.
So they called me back to fly. Went back to being a flight attendant. But I noticed when I would get calls, I was surprised to know that they calling me back for more candles.
Mm-hmm.
They really like these candles like that.
Right.
So on my off days, I would get off, go make candles, go to every beauty shop, barber shop, and sell them. So finally, I built up a clientele over time. They laid me off again, and I just asked God, like, God, this is what it is that you have for me to do. I'll do it. I don't mind working. But I need to do something because what I love to do is just not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. So
that's how I started taking it on full time. And it just became from one candle to one candle to one candle. The fact that, I'm very artistic, so that the love and the gift is in the product.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I really strive to work, that the product is good.
Now, how long has your business been open?
8.5 years, going on 9 years.
Awesome.
I started out in my grandmother's kitchen. She put me out of there. I went to the back porch. It started raining. I couldn't make them there anymore. I went to my auntie's garage for 2.5 years. We went to the trunk of my car, to a smaller location, to a 1,500 square foot location where I'm at now.
Okay.
We have a retail store in the front, and we make candles in the back.
Well, I can understand that making candles is probably a messy endeavor. So I'm sure that it wasn't long before you got put out of grandmother's kitchen.
Holiday time was coming up. She's like, oh, no, I got to.
You got to get out of here with all this wax and this fragrance and everything else. Now, tell me, now what other products does your business sell other than candles?
We manufacture candles, aroma sprays, burning oils, aroma bags, scented oil burners.
Mm-hmm.
Everything scented is what I try to do. We have scented shea butters.
Now, what is that? A
shea butter is like a whipped body lotion.
Okay.
Right, so I'm starting to dibble and dabble in the body, bath and body.
And these are all under your own product line, under your own company name?
Handmade by me.
Wow.
My 2 contract workers that I have.
Wow. Now, what makes you different than some of the other candle makers? What do you think is the call or the reason that you've been in business for 8.5 years and you've been growing your business? What's different about you?
Well, I feel that it's just the love and the product is really, really great. Most candles you burn it doesn't burn the whole diameter. You burn a candle sometimes to leave a lot of wax in it. With this candle, it burns all the way down. Your jar is empty when you're done, and on top of that, as soon as you light it up, 5 minutes after that, you smell up the whole place.
Okay. So you have more, would you say you have more fragrance in your product?
I have way more fragrance, and I use a higher quality of product or supplies for a reasonable amount.
Okay.
So that also makes it a great thing. It's affordable for everyone. We have candles starting at $1.25 all the way up to $300-400 if you want.
Okay. Now, let's talk about when you decided to go ahead and go into business. And I know that there are lots of people out there who listen to this show who are struggling with the same thing. I have a full-time job. I'm wondering if now is the right time for me to make this move. Do I have what it takes? Do I have enough money? Have I done enough research? Those are some of the questions that people ask themselves. Now, did you ask yourself those questions as well?
I just went for it.
You just decided to go ahead and do it?
I just prayed and I asked God for something, and when that subject matter came up, like, whoa, it's the candles, I just knew that this right here, I saw such a vision in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew, like, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm always like this, okay, I'm going to try it. If it don't work, I can go back. I can go fly to Southwest. Or I can
Surely,
go.
absolutely. You could always go back to work,
just,
but you'd have to deal with those issues
right.
of, possibly being laid off and all of those things, but you
Right.
could always find another job, and that is one good way to look at it when you go into your own business. Now, you started out, now I don't know if you know this or not, but SCORE is a resource partner of ours, and one of the number one steps that we always discuss on this show is putting together a well thought out business plan, and not everybody does that. But I want to know, did you put together a business plan, or did you just kind of go with what was in your head?
I didn't put together a business plan. I had it all in my head, and my business plan was just to hustle. Get those candles in the hands of everyone, because it seemed like everyone that purchased one, they continue to be my customer. Even still today, my customers from my truck, the same that comes in my store. It's just a build up from one candle at a time. That was my business plan. But as I've grown, as a company, I see how important it is to really do have a business plan for the bigger picture.
Okay. Well, and not everyone has one. And, I too, when I started my first business, unfortunately, I didn't have one. However, and I think it worked against me, because even after I did sustain some growth, I started having issues that I just didn't plan for. And that's one of the reasons that we always push for someone. That's the first step that you always want to take, is having that well thought out plan. But you're living proof that, hey, if you get out there, you work hard, you do what's expected of you, that you can be successful in lieu of that.
Because you can have a big plan, but you don't do the work, and you just got a big business plan.
Right.
If you don't get out there and make things happen, or at least see if you can make some opportunities come, you just have a business plan.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that's half the battle.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break. You're listening to Small Business Talk with John Cruz on Business 1110 AM, KTEK. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey.